Hello everyone, my name is Vishal. Today, as I speak you from the lands of India, let me tell you that here many people are happy today. Why? Because we had a good rains in India. And as you are aware, Indian economy largely depends on agricultural income. And when it comes to the agricultural income largely depends on the weather patterns and rain plays a crucial role. So basically here everyone we are expecting a good agricultural income which in turn will boost the economy. Not only in India but as we know many parts of the world, many countries in the world, their income largely depends on agricultural economy. The question here I am here to discuss with you today is only whether a decider factor to agriculture income or along with whether can something else be done so as to increase the agriculture income. Let me tell you the answer is yes. Today we all are operational excellence practitioner. Operational excellence, a concept which has emerged from the manufacturing industry, which makes manufacturing industry competitive. Does it has a role to play in the agricultural sector also? The answer is definitely yes. Then are majority players, whether a small scale farmer or large scale corporates dealing in the agricultural sector, are they implementing operational excellence to increase their income? Unfortunately here the answer is big no. Operational excellence has not spread in the agricultural sector, and actually if you ask me, that's a sector where it is needed the most. Let me tell you with an example. We work with various flower farms in India as well as in Africa. Now these are the big commercial flower farms. Now take a scenario of a rose farm. The roses are grown in a greenhouse. One greenhouse is typically spread across 1 to 1.5 hectares of land. Now, if you just calculate that a theoretical production which one should get from a greenhouse versus the actual production that one gets from the greenhouse, and if you calculate that ratio, the ratio is only 40 to 50%. What does this 40 to 50% means? If I theoretically calculate how many flowers can be planted and can be harvested from a greenhouse versus how many flowers, exportable flowers which are ready to be exported, are actually done from the greenhouse, the ratio is between that 40 to 50%. So where the remaining flower grows, the remaining flowers either they don't grow up or they are rejected in the process. Now that's where the catch is. Please understand, when we say that the land is capable to produce, let's say, 100 flowers, and whereas it is only producing 50 exportable flowers, actually the remaining 50 which are not getting sold or not getting produced, actually they eat up the entire profit. Now imagine a scenario that instead of 50 now we increase by some means, we increase these 50 exportable flowers to 70 exportable flowers. The remaining 20 flowers, 20 to 30% of the flowers, the revenue which we get by selling those flowers will directly go into the profitability of the organization. Now that's an impact, and that's an area where operational excellence is very, very important. Because what is operational excellence? As we talk about operational excellence, we talk about two things which are very, very crucial, which defines the operational excellence. Once, delivering the maximum value to its customer, and second, optimum utilization of the resources. We'll talk about the first, but let's talk about the second part first, that is optimum utilization of resources. So when we talk about resources are 4 M's: man, machine, material, and method. And when I customize these resources to the agricultural sector, one more important resource that gets added is nothing but the land. Because for an agricultural player, land is the most important resource. You can increase the manpower, you can increase the material, you can improvise your method, You can also have use better machinery. But can you increase the land suddenly? The answer is no. So when an agriculture player, whether it's a small farmer or a big corporate working in the agricultural sector, he has to ensure that whatever the land we have, how can we get best output from the land? And that's where operational excellence has a big role to play. How does that help you? Very important concepts of operational excellence. We talk about standardization. That is very, very crucial for the agriculture because, as you know, if we plant some crops, let's say if I plant 100 flower stems of 100 plants in a greenhouse, I have to ensure that all those 100 plants are grown up properly. I will have to ensure all those 100 farm or 100 plants, let's say one plant for the sake of calculation can give 5 flowers, means 100 plants can give me 500 flowers. But if out of 100, 20, 30 plants die away during the process, then definitely my yield reduces. Now that's where operational excellence can play a role. So please understand, these plants are like a baby. If you take a proper care of the baby, you will have a strong baby. Same is the case with the plants. Plants also requires a proper care. Proper care in the way they are grown, how they are fed in terms of the nutrition, how they are fed in terms of the water and all other intakes. How you are preventing them from the diseases. Now, when you are working on a small scale, you can, as an individual, you can maintain these things to a certain extent. But when you have a big piece of land, if you are managing 10 to 100 greenhouses, where more number of people are working, that's where you have to put the right standards in place. The right standards with the right checklist will ensure you that you will take care of these plants in a proper manner. Because as the baby grows month by month, the plant also grows week by week. So every week there are certain set of activities that needs to be performed for each and every plant. Now that's where defining the right standards, implementing the right standards, and making sure that putting up a check mechanism. We talk about PDCA. Here also PDCA is applicable. Planning talks about designing those right standards. Doing means implementing those right standards. Check stands for basically, are you checking whether the standards are being followed by each and every person in the organization? That is very, very important. And that helps to increase the productivity of the land. Now let's say out of 100 you ensure all those things and you can get 100 plants grown up. Now each plant is supposed to give 5 flowers. So means you should get 500 flowers, right? But then you will find that when you are going to go for the harvesting, only 400 flowers are harvestable in nature. Remaining 100 flowers, either they are weak, their stem is not strong, their head is not proper. So there are some or other defects which are generated by the flowers and now it is not ready to harvest and not ready to sell. Now these entire 100 flowers which have consumed all the resources, they have consumed the man, they have consumed the machine, they have consumed the material, at the end of the day they are going into a dustbin. Now that's where the quality management toolkit plays a big role. Can we do an analysis using the concepts of 7 quality control tools, like what are the major causes of the rejection? Can we identify the causes, the root causes of rejection and prevent these 100 flowers from getting rejected to getting harvested? So from rejection to the harvesting. By implementation of quality management toolkit, you can reduce the rejection of the flowers. Then once we have, let's say now we have these 500 flowers which are now ready to be harvested. And assuming that we are harvesting those properly, the flowers are produced in the greenhouse and they are taken into a pack house, which is a packing shed. And in between there is a handling. If we have a right policies, processes, systems in place, we can prevent the flower from the handling damages and we can really ensure that all 500 flowers reaches to the greenhouse. Remember, we are dealing in the flower farms where the roads are not good, the systems are not proper, and very importantly, the cold chain is important. The time you harvest the flower and the time you take it to the greenhouse, we need to compress that time so that the cold chain is maintained. So that's where the flow management systems from the operational domain, excellence domain are impactful. So we can apply the flow management principle to design the right flow of material from the greenhouse to the pack house and then within the pack house. And that's why now when the flowers are taken to the pack house, of course they are kept in a cold storage for a certain amount of time, and they are again taken outside for a grading activity. Now that's where the skill of the labor is important. Can my labor do a skillful job so that he can identify the difference between a right flower and a wrong flower? And that's where the concept like training within industry, which is also an operational excellence toolkit, is very much applicable. How can I train my labor? Because it's a labor intensive business. How can I train my labor? Concepts like one point lessons are very impactful. By implementing training within industry, by implementing one point lessons, one can get a better quality output from the labor. That is very important. Similarly, it's not about the production or sales increase. It's also about the cost management. Now, where the farm costs are gone. One, very important, as we say, it's a labor intensive business. So you employ labor. Are you getting the right productivity from your labor? That's where, again, the concepts of operational method study. We talk about work study, which is a combination of time study and method study. By improvising the practices, the methods of the labor, one can improve their output. Say, let's say, if a labor is doing a grading activity, by improvising his method, by improvising the workstation design, one can reduce the time required to grade the flowers, and thus in turn can get more flowers graded from the same person. That reduces my per flower cost. In addition to it, definitely we talk about another aspects, which is the quality control. Now, flowers are like affected by various aspects of Mother Nature, various viruses, insects, they attack the flowers. Now that's where again we can use the concepts of quality management, use the concept of standards, so that the right spraying should happen at the right point of time. Thus I prevent my flower from getting attacked by these external parties. Similarly, for that, what you need to have right chemicals and sprays available in your stores. Because the time you identify a virus or an insect attack, you should not lose time but immediately start your spraying activity. Many times it is observed that when it is such things are observed, the right sprays are not available in the stores. And that delays the entire process and that reduces the yield. Now that's where the inventory management principles are very applicable. So by implementing the right inventory management toolkit, one can ensure that the right material is available at right time so it can be used in the field and we can save our flowers. So my friends, there are various tools and techniques of operational excellence which can impact the flower farms. They can impact the flower farms in two ways. One, increasing the output of the flower farm. From the same land, from the same labor, using the same material, I can increase the number of exportable stems. Not only number of exportable stems, as we know, as the length of the stem increases, the cost, the sales price increases. By implementation of flower, the proper quality management toolkit, I can also increase the number of exportable stems in running kilometers. That's the measure which when we work with a flower farm, we don't only focus on just increasing the number of exportable stems, but we also calculate the running meter or running kilometers. So that's how once we increase, and we have worked with more than 10 to 15 flower farms across the world. And I'll tell you the impact of it. What we have observed is that for every flower farms, we were able to increase its production, that is the number of exportable stems in running kilometer, in the range of 20 to 40%. These are the proven numbers. Now, when you implement operational, now just do a reverse mathematics. If your current, and just take your P&L and balance sheet, and then let's see if your running stem increases by 20 to 40%, your number of exportable flowers increases by 20 to 40%, what impact it can create on your profitability. That's where your operational excellence becomes the game changer. Second, very important, as we improve the labor productivity, as we improve the labor inventory management, my expense per flower also comes down in the range of 10 to 15%. So here we are getting a multiplier effect. On one hand, we are increasing the sales. On the other hand, we are reducing the cost. So that's where we get a multiplier effect. So wherever the flower farms which have implemented the operational excellence in their farms, it is observed that they increase their profits in the range of 30 to 40%. Isn't it a big number? And all those things, you don't have to depend on Mother Nature. These are things which you can do on your own, irrespective of the role which Mother Nature plays. But you can still play the best using the concepts of operational excellence. It's a very, very powerful, proven tool. We call it as a toolkit called the farm transformation. So if you want to transform your farm, make sure that you are implementing operational excellence in each and every aspect of your business. I bet you that if you follow this, in next year when you look at your P&L, when you look at your profitability statements, you will see an increase of almost more than 30 to 40% increase in the profits, just because of implementation of operational excellence in the farms, and that gives you something called a farm transformation. So friends, and my best wishes to you for this journey. Let's work together and make sure that we transform our farms and make a profitable farms. Thank you.